Hi, this is Danny Doyle, and I'm back with some more of the toppy-bottomy Fire Emblem gay series that I haven't come up with a name for yet. Tops and bottoms, tier lists, whatever we want to call it. And we're doing Thracia today. A couple of quick disclaimers I like to give at the front before we dive into things. First off, Thracia is a game with a lot of child soldiers. We will not be tiering the child soldiers. Most characters do not have canonical ages, so for a lot of them we went on vibes, whether it's their behavior, their portrait, or whatnot. So if there's someone who you're like, that person's not a child, you should tier them. It's just our comfort level. I'd rather be safer than sorrier. Just because, again, canonical ages, and it's hard to tell with anime people. I try to play it safe. Also, just so that you know, these are all just headcanons. If you disagree with our takes, by no means are we the definitive end word on whether someone is a top, a bottom, a switch, an ace, etc., etc. And I welcome disagreement in the comments. You know, let me know if you feel one way or the other about a character. We are trying to base things in knowledge. I did bring someone on who I would say is fairly knowledgeable about the Judd Girl world. But at the end of the day, a lot of this is vibes, a lot of this is opinions, and you are welcome to disagree with us. And speaking of Judd Girl expertise, I have Juniper Jungby here as my co-host. So Juniper, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what all your stuff is?
Yeah, my name is Juniper Jungby. I use she, her pronouns. I mostly stream Fire Emblem over on Twitch at Juniper_Jungby. Jungby as in Jungby. But I also have a YouTube channel where I sometimes post highlights. I've been thinking about doing more edited content, though that might not happen for a long time. I love the JoJo games. I've played them an excessive amount. I've been an FE fan since I was really young kid. Overall, I really love the Fire Emblem games, and this one's definitely my favorite. So I'm very excited to be on for this, and you can find the links to my stuff down below.
Yes, hopefully I remember to put it there, because I am a professional, I swear. I only forget things about 1 out of every 10 times. But good to hear that you have been in the child soldier game since you yourself were a child soldier.
No, yeah, you gotta study for the job that you want, you know, like...
Yeah, and one day you will promote and become a Master Knight.
That is true, that's the end goal.
Much like Finn in my Fire Emblem fanfiction. I think he deserved the title of Master Knight. Finn worked so hard. I love Finn. Finn is one of my favorite characters in the whole continent.
I love Finn, but in a weird way, I can't see this man having sex. Like, I know he, canonically had sex, but I can never see him having sex.
Wait, what do you mean he canonically had sex?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he had, Nana as his child or something.
See, and maybe this is just me, I always read that as an adopted child. I felt like because he took, Leif and Nana in, I felt like the whole, Nana is my daughter thing was, an adopted... it's sort of like he was the father figure more than, the biological father. And part of this is because, Thracia, I guess, technically speaking, Thracia is not necessarily in the same canon as FE4. It's, one of many possible canons or whatever. But it does the weird stuff with, the Bayo sword and stuff, right?
Yeah, the Bayo sword. That throws a whole wrench into things.
And I always read it as Beowulf was... Finn, or not Finn. Beowulf was, Dermot and Nana's father, but then he had an affair, or they were polyamorous, unclear, but he had another child that was not with Lechisis, and that was who, Fergus ended up being. But maybe both of them, I guess if we're going with the poly thing, can Nana use the Bayo sword?
I don't believe so.
So maybe she's Finn's daughter. and like it's a whole trouble deal.
I've never like thought to look at that actually. Like, yeah, it's only the guys. It's only the guys that can use it.
It's the sexism sword. It really did belong to Beowulf.
Yeah, but another thing to note is that the logging sword, Nada, Leif, and the guys can use it. So she definitely has holy blood.
Yeah, but Finn wouldn't have been the one to give it to her, right? That would have been from her mom.
Yeah, well, from Milokisis, but it kind of confirms Fergus and Diamant are related, but maybe not.
Diamant from Fire Emblem Engage?
Yeah, listen, all I'm saying, Finn, can't see you and this man having sex, I'm sorry. Like,
I'll take it. I buy that. I buy that.
Now, Orson's a fuckboy. Like,
oh, absolutely a fuckboy.
Oh, 100% a fuckboy. But I don't know if he's like the fuckboy that likes to get like strapped to a bed, or a fuckboy that likes to be on top. I don't know.
I mean, look at his face. Look at his face. I feel like he's into whatever she's into.
Yeah. Whatever.
I think he's just down for it.
Whatever it takes to get in the bed.
Whatever it takes to close the deal. His dad probably yells at him too, like, you're laying your axe around while you go around and lay with all these women. Rah!
No, not just women, probably. Let's be real.
oh yeah, no, those are bisexualized.
Alvin, I don't. Again, he's like a very no nonsense character.
See, I feel like just because he's no nonsense doesn't necessarily mean that he's ace. I feel like he's a very mechanical lover. Like, this would not be a good sex having. I think that he would just be like almost robot like in that he's the okay, it is time for us to do copulation. I shall go in and out, and you shall achieve pleasure. Is this pleasurable for you, baby? Oh yeah.
At least listen. At least he's looking out for his partner during sex.
Yeah. I mean, look, that matches the gameplay too, because like Orson is a selfish lover because he keeps his personal weapon to himself. But Halvin he shares the brave axe with whoever wants it.
No, he gives it to Dulcin. He gives it to Dulcin can pop off and master.
So wait, are we gonna? I think not to skip ahead, but if we put Halvin in top, does this put Dulcin like if he's the giver and he's the recipient?
No, real.
That's so real. That's so real, right?
Yeah, that's real. Now here, I've already told you about this, but
yeah, tell the viewers though. Tell the viewers though.
Listen, I think massive, hilariously massive Thracia spoiler warning.
Oh yeah, I should have given a spoiler warning. Spoiler warnings for both FE5 and FE4. Generally, I feel like these lists it's kind of assumed spoiler warning, but like the FE4 and FE5 are some of the ones where I wouldn't say like the great story, but it's better than the average Fire Emblem story, which like, yeah, low bar, but still, if you want to go in and experience a story, it is a story worth experiencing. So if you care about spoilers, there's a big one coming up.
Yeah, click away like now.
Yeah, but hit subscribe first.
True, that's true. You should subscribe to Danny Doyle. So I think Bridget is a massive top. Like, I don't see a world where she is like an absolute top, but Avo, I feel like is more like a switch. I feel like Avo would let herself get topped, but I don't see a world where Bridget would get topped. Like, it's actually just two different characters, I feel like. I'm
curious why you feel that way. Do you mind elaborating? I'm really interested, because you sprinkled hints at me.
I don't know exactly. Like, it's just a vibe, you know? Like, I feel like Avel doesn't give off, like, mega top energy, but she doesn't get off bobbin energy, but she definitely doesn't give off ace energy. That woman has kissed another woman. Like, meanwhile, Bridget, maybe it's just because of her introduction being the leader of pirates, but I definitely see her as a top.
Is she the leader of pirates? I thought they was like the Free Blades were different. Like Dagdar leads one gang, and she's like the mercenaries.
No, Bridget.
Oh, yeah. I got confused.
Yeah. And if before she leads the Orville pirates, though they do rebel against her, but
Yeah, because they're dicks. They're like fucking
yeah.
misogynists. It's so stupid.
She kills them.
Yeah, well, don't fucking. As is her right. As is her right.
As is her right.
You know who I don't think has kissed any women? I promise we're not just gonna put every single dad in ace, but like I feel like Dagdar's ace. He's much more concerned about Tanya's well-being than like getting down and dirty.
I definitely agree. I feel like he's very much concerned with his daughter's well-being, and he doesn't really. He may have just tried it once, and Tanya happened. Who knows? But all we know is Dagdar is probably a very good dad, and I like Dagdar, and he's a good unit, and I think he's pretty awesome.
I mean, my headcanon is that Dagdar. First off, okay, we're gonna go deep into this. I think Dagdar is transfemme. Or, sorry, Dagdar is transmasc, and Avel is transfemme. And I think that Dagdar wanted a child, but didn't want romance. He has no interest in romance, no interest in sex. And so he comes to his friend Avel, and he's like, hey, like, can we have sex one time just so that I can have a child? Because I want to be a dad. I know I'll be a good dad. And then they do, and it's not passionate at all. It's mechanic. It's like Halvin pilled, but Dagdar, then he has his kid, and that's all he wanted. That's the only sex he's ever had, and it's the only sex he ever will.
It's so out there. I love it, actually. That's the best part about headcanons. You can just make a, like...
Well, because, like, so think about, like, who else would he trust? The only other person I feel like he would trust enough to be, like, the mother of his child. Well, I guess it could be Marty, but I think Marty's also ace.
I feel like Marty's got that 0 skill, 0 speed, 0 sex drive.
And the front-facing portrait. The front-facing portrait is so funny to me.
I remember, this was in the first FE4 collab. I remember someone made an edit of Lex's portrait and Photoshop Ben Shapiro, and it fits scarily well.
No!
Now I can't help but think about that whenever I see those front-facing portraits.
Let's say, hypothetically, instead of having Pursuit, you had the Brave Axe. Oh no, I hate it.
Let's say, hypothetically, you were given a choice between a gold and a silver axe. When you had to pick which one is your axe, and you picked the iron axe.
Okay, hold on 1 second. My cat just knocked over something very loud in the background. I gotta cut real quick, get her out of here. Sorry about that interruption. I had to use the warp staff to get my cat out of here, but on that topic, how do you feel about warp staff on legs?
As she is a woman of the cloth, I feel like Saffy went into that position because she's just ace, and she just doesn't want to deal with all that, and she wants to have a good excuse.
You know what? Honestly, I see it.
An excuse that people will accept, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that happens in real life sometimes, is like, ace people can find safety in the vow of chastity for the clergy. And the way in which asexual can, like, intersect with purity culture, in both using it as a mask and also eventually being persecuted by it and all sorts of complicated stuff. So I see it. It's a lived thing.
Oh yeah, I'm a really big fan of Saffy. I think she's really awesome. Very fun unit.
Is it because she has green hair?
That's not the only reason.
But it is the reason.
That is the part of the reason.
Yes, it's just not the only one.
Now this next one. This is, I think, our first definitive bottom.
Oh, he's such a fuckboy. He's such a fuckboy.
Yeah, he's 100% a bottom, though. Like, I don't feel like there's a character that screams bottom to me more than Lithos.
I also think he's, like, aggressively straight.
No, yeah, he's aggressively straight. I don't see a world where this guy fucks other dudes.
None whatsoever. No. No. I'm glad we're in alignment both in terms of, like, he's a giant, massive bottom fuckboy, and he's aggressively heterosexual, and like he's probably the only person we've talked about so far who is. How do you feel about Mr. Wife Guy and Mrs. Wife?
It is a common known theorem in the Fire Emblem sphere that all female heroes are tops. And since Macho promotes into a hero, that makes her a top.
I genuinely almost spit coffee on my keyboard. I've never heard that before. What?
No, I made that up on the spot. I just thought it would be fun.
No, it's canon. I'm adding it to the fandom wiki. The Ogma, or I'm gonna add it to the fandom wiki as part of the Echidna archetype. These are female heroes who are tops. Would that make Brighton a switch or a bottom, though, is the question.
I feel like Brighton's a switch. But because he, like, switches between being mounted and not being mounted, you know? Like...
Yeah, and axes and swords.
No, yeah, those are... It's like a...
When he wants to bottom for his wife, he has the axes, because then she has weapon triangle over him, and when he's ready to top, he has the swords out, because then they're evenly matched. They both have swords.
No, it's top on top.
Top on top. It's like the Beyblades meme.
Yeah, Fergus... Oh, God. I could gush about how much I love Fergus as a unit, but...
I love him as both a unit and a character. I named a cat after him, actually, who passed away, unfortunately, but I had a cat named Fergus for a couple of years. He was like a stray that I found outside and I adopted. And I named him specifically after FE5 Fergus.
That's hype. I don't know what to think about Fergus as, you know... I don't know if he definitely is a fuckboy. Like, the way he talks to women in this game is...
See,
this dude...
My theory is he hides... It's similar to how Saffy takes, you know, like the asexuality and uses the cloth as like an excuse for it, right? I think he's also ace, and he hides behind his fuckboy attitude, and he's like so aggressively fuckboy that he knows no woman ever will want anything to do with him.
That's an interesting strategy, I'm gonna be real. Let's see how this plays out for him.
But I feel like no one who actually wants to have sex would flirt the way that he does. Like the jail cell scene with him, Leif, and Karen, who like we're not rating because they are children, but it really feels like, you know, the lady doth protest too much, except for, you know, he's anti-protesting. The fuckboy doth fucketh too much.
That is true.
But if you disagree, I'm happy to defer to your expertise.
I don't disagree. I'm gonna be real. Like,
and we already talked about Dalsin, so we have Hicks, another daddy. There's a lot of daddies. Do we just go every daddy is ace? Keep the pattern.
I think there's a lot of dads, and there's a lot of good dads in Thracia, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, because most dads in Fire Emblem are either dead or shitty, and in Thracia, they're like...
We want to protect our families from actual child hunters and shit. Like, I'm hot take, guys, but I think defending your family from child hunters is a sign of a good father.
I also think it's cool how, like, so as like a story beat, right? Dagdar is willing to like, not only Dagdar is protecting Tanya, but Tanya supports Dagdar by pushing him to be a better person. Not only because like the way that supports work and the little like tiny boost that they get, but if Tanya is still alive, Dagdar is willing to stand up for his principles and fight, fight against his former gang to stop them from doing like the aggressive plundering and stuff. But if Tanya's dead, then he's not willing to do that, and he just leaves and lets the situation devolve. And I think that's, his daughter pushing him to be a better man, which I always thought was pretty cool.
No, yeah, there's a lot of small things like that in Thracia, and it's part of why I love the game.
It's got a lot of mini store play stuff. I really like the gameplay. I just wish the maps were better. Anyway, let's talk about Shiva. Before we get into that debate.
We've had this debate between us before.
What do you think about Edgy McEdgerson, Shadow the Hedgehog?
He was the only Thracia character. No, there was 4 Thracia characters I put in I don't like, essentially the I don't like tier, and he is one of them. So I'm actually just going to defer to your judgment on this, because my judgment on him is he's a pee-pee poo-poo head, and I don't
He's a pee-pee poo-poo head? Do we make a new tier? Pee-pee poo-poo heads?
Well, yeah, if we put Pert in there, too.
Yeah. Okay.
I think, actually, wait, let me pull up the list. Who was in the I just don't like you?
Pee-pee
All right. Shiva, Pern, Trude, and actually that's it.
Oh, I'm not putting Trude in there. I'll put Parn in there though. They're the pee-pee poo-poo heads.
Pern deserves to go in there. Like,
yeah, I said I'm not putting Trude in there though. Trude deserves better. Trude's being taken advantage of by an abusive slave master dude. I'll talk about Trude when we get to Trude, but I have thoughts about Trude. He's another of our front-facing portrait boys. Like, you can't hate him. He's on the Marty train. He's staring forward at you. He's looking into your soul.
Yeah.
Does Carrion have a soul? Does Carrion have a soul? It's the debate.
He is a cav.
Is he? I've never fucking used him. He's so bad.
All calves can be mounted.
Does that put him into bottom?
I feel like that does.
That's the logic.
I feel like if a strong woman came into his life, he would immediately fold.
That's the thing about Thracia characters, because like we literally just went off the fact that he's a cav, right?
Yeah, like
the duality of Thracia characters is there's like you get these beautiful characters like Dagdar and Finn and Saffy who like have so much to them that I could go on for like 20-30 minutes just about them as a character, and then you get like, hello, my name is the Christmas Cavaliers.
I actually love Ralph. Like, as unrelated, I love Ralph.
Well, where do you think Ralph goes then?
Oh, he 100% ace. This man does not fuck. All he cares about is being a good unit.
And a good person. He's like, oh, there's bandits attacking the church. I gotta fucking stay up and protect them.
No, yeah, there's an overwhelming amount of just good people in the Thracia class.
And then there's also the pee-pee poo-poo heads.
He's also Bird. Awful. I hate him. I hate him so much. Like, as a unit, yes, he's so fun to use, but as a character, he's kind of like a Camilla moment for me, but he actually like does the bad shit mostly instead of Camilla just saying it.
The thing with Pern, right, is like I do think that Fire Emblem should have like absolutely fucking horrible people. And I kind of miss that like everyone's just like a good guy now. Even when we get like Engage gave us Morbius coming over to our side, right? Morbius and Vale, but then they like contrived the story and bent over backwards to have it be like, no, it turns out all those bad things you did, not a big deal actually. And I'm just like frustrated at that. Whereas like, as much as I don't like Pern as a unit, I appreciate, I do like him as a unit. I don't like him as a character. I appreciate him existing in the world, and I appreciate that Thracia puts Leif in such a desperate position that he has to be willing to align with people like this, like this dingus.
Yeah, he's fighting a guerrilla war against a force like significantly larger than him. He kind of don't got a choice.
Yeah, you can't be picky about your allies, and it's like really unfortunate. But Alir would never side with Pern. Alir would kill Pern.
Alir would kill Pern instantly.
And like I think the last time we've gotten someone who's like an absolute fucking piece of shit who the main character's aligned with. Oh, I was gonna say Shannon because he's a racist shithead.
No, that is true. That is 100% true, and he doesn't change.
No, he doesn't. I don't like the way Path of Radiance handled him. But that's a thing for another time. But
I don't like the way Path of Radiance handled racism in general.
Yeah. No, it's really bad. It's really bad. And yet it gets like praised as progressive for the time when like honestly it's pretty regressive for the time. Selfina! Selfina time! What do you think about her?
I have always had canon her as either bi or lesbian. But if we're talking about her relationship with Glade, that's a hard one. I'm trying to not just put all the women in top.
I think because they're related, we should probably talk about they're married, not like related. Okay. They're linked to each other. I think Glade is asexual, and I think the Selfina marriage is like a beard type thing. Like I think that Glade is ace, and I think that Selfina like cares about him as a person, but they don't have like a sexual relationship. They might have a romantic one. It's unclear whether I don't know whether he's arrow or not, but he's definitely ace. I just get that vibe from him.
He also does got the authority star. I was gonna bring that up.
Mm-hmm. And the generics.
Oh yeah, Polycule.
No, true.
When you kill off Glade's generics, remember who you're killing off.
Don't kill off Glade's generics.
Worst mistake of my life. Selfina. I put her in Switch, I think. I think Switch is the right call.
What about Roberto?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't think he's old enough. I'm pretty sure he's like just barely skirting the line.
Okay. We missed one. We put him in the child soldiers. That's fine.
Fred. I love Fred as a unit. And I kind of like Fred as a character. But
he's got big bottom energy though. Like Milady, I must serve you.
Yeah, he's got that big bottom energy.
He's a big booty Judy.
Hopefully, if you ever remake him and give him a 3D, he got that other big bottom.
Yeah, he's a big booty Judy.
All I'm saying.
Leif's army is very much looking like, and they were both bottoms, crying face meme. There's two tops in this army.
No. The tops come later.
I don't think Olwen changes that either. Like, I feel like Olwen is also kind of bottom energy.
I agree. She's very much bottom, but she's not a bottom that will take stuff lying down, you know, like she stands up for herself.
She's a power bottom.
That's exactly what she is. She's a power bottom. And you know, we gotta respect the power bottoms out there.
Until Dire Thunder breaks.
Okay, but by that point she'll probably have good enough stats to just
get killed off so that you can recruit her replacement.
Actually, I would really say if you play Thracia, kill her off at least once, just to see Ilios' ending.
Ilios is cool. I like Ilios.
I really like Ilios.
Salem.
Probably after his time in the Leptarian Church, I don't see him as a very sexually active person.
Yeah, I feel like he's ace, but not ace like... He's not ace because he's like asexual from birth, but he like was probably traumatized. To the point where like kind of all he cares about now is like surviving.
Yeah.
So I would say ace, but like as opposed to everyone else, I feel like is ace because they were born ace. I feel like he's ace through circumstance more than anything.
Now I will give you the floor for this next one.
Okay, so Trude and Marty, they're both people who are staring straight at the camera, right? They're both kind of portrayed as, like, somewhat... I guess the problematic term for it would be simpletons. I feel like they're neurodivergent, but, like, they're meant to be, like... I feel like they're both... They're different sides of the same coin, right? Like, Marty is... I don't know the right wording for it, because... People used to say, like, low-functioning, mentally disabled, but that is, like, a super ableist framing of things. It's more like they are both disabled adults who need, additional care. And Marty gets that additional care from Dagdar, someone who truly loves and cares about him. And Trude found Pern, who sees that Trude is strong and takes advantage of that, and is an abusive piece of shit who's like, hey, you are someone who is physically strong, but I am mentally stronger than you. I will fucking manipulate the shit out of you and make you do all this terrible stuff. And I think that is really sad. And so I think also Trude should be an ace, but I don't think that he's a pee-pee-poo head. I think that he is a yet another victim of Parn's crimes. Like, in the same way that Tina is a victim of Parn's crimes, taking advantage of her weaknesses. Parn takes advantage of Trude's weaknesses. Parn takes advantage of everyone around him, and he's just such a little shit, and I want to punch him in his face and poop on his pillow.
He deserves to go the way of Ronald Reagan, all I'm saying.
True!
Now, this is where we start getting some tops, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. I think both of the Wyverns, right? The siblings?
No, 100%. These two are 100. Like, we don't even need to debate. And Homer does everything. Like,
yeah, Homer's a switch.
I have a friend of mine. shoutouts to Homer Time on Old School RuneScape. But whenever I hear the words Homer, I can't help but think of them, and now I can only think of Homer as a gay man. Like, it's it's a problem. Sometimes I just start associating characters with people, even though they have no connection.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's why Fergus is my little meow meow.
That's true. I love cats.
Ilios? But yeah, I've talked about Homer in an SRPG Sapphics and how, like, it's a little bit icky that the translation was just like, let's take this slutty character and make him bi. But also, like, I know a lot of people really like headcanoning him as bi. Like, a lot of bi people really like headcanoning him as bi. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, do that if that makes you happy. So it's weird about Homer. Like, but he's absolutely Switch. He's absolutely slutty Switch. And we respect the game.
I think Ilios is 100% a top, but he's like...
Oh, you think so?
He tries too hard.
I feel like Ilios... This is... I get maybe this will be contentious. I think Ilios is a bottom who's constantly pretending to be a top.
I know those do exist, but I think Ilios is a top at heart, but he just tries way too hard that it seems like he's a bottom.
Okay. I will take your word for it. You're the one who literally has Jungbi in your name.
That is true.
I feel like you know the setting a little better than me.
I'm literally a knight from House Jungbi.
It's true. It's true. You killed Midir because he's mid.
I did not.
And then you replaced him because you agree with me that Midir is so mid.
No, I support Midir Fire Emblem. My favorite character in the franchise. He's also a bottom, by the way.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. You know, subscribe if you want to see FE4 stuff. It's coming up. Are we doing the same logic as Saffy?
100%.
That's not Corporal, that's, what is his name, Sloof?
Sloof. I'm sorry, I see their portraits and I think Corporal.
I can never remember his name. Like, I never remember this guy's name. It's a good unit, but, like, boringly good, because it's just like, hey, another A staffer. Yes, no, please, but, like...
He's the A staffer.
He's just... I made a joke that Saffy was a staff bot on legs, but, like... Or that Saffy was a warp staff on legs, but like this is the actual warp staff on legs. Like, Saffy has a character, Saffy has a training arc, Saffy has a unit feel. This guy's just like, yeah, I want another staffer because fatigue exists.
Now this next character is very near and dear to my heart. Easily my favorite Thracia character. One of my favorite characters in the series.
I'll let you take the floor then. I've got nothing to say.
She is my profile picture on both YouTube, Discord, and Twitch. And I ship her with Amalda. I was influenced by this by a friend. We haven't spoken in a while, but Misha Amalda is my favorite Thracia ship. Like, just period.
Is this Amalda?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Some of the late game characters, I have trouble remembering their names because, like, oftentimes I drop Thracia before late game.
Fair enough. But I think Misha... I don't know. Like, part of me wants to say bottom because, well, the other part of me is like, she's the leader of a mercenary group. Or she has her hair like that. Like, I don't know. Any
she could be
that
like,
hair like that.
It could be like the big businesswoman who, after hours, goes and finds a dominatrix. Like that's that type deal.
Right. That's definitely Amalda was a top. No, I feel like. Though I can't think of one character without thinking the other. Like,
I think they deserve to be happy together. We'll lump them in like that.
True. Wait, can you put Misha right under her, actually?
Like that?
There we go.
There we go. What about Shanam?
Well, clearly, as the user of Balmunga.
The Balmunk?
Yeah, I like saying Balmunga because I had a few Brazilian friends that really liked that version of it, so...
Oh, see, I call it Balmunk because it's not the Balmung. It's like a ripoff.
Yeah, I think he's a bottom. Be real.
Yeah. The way that Homer is able to like immediately rope him into joining the army.
Exactly.
Also, his eyes on his portrait look really fucked up. I'm just noticing that now. Both he and Amalda have fucked up eyes on their portrait. Amalda looks like she hit a fucking bong. Is that normal, or is that the tier list breaking? I feel like that's not her normal eyes. I feel like that left-hand eye, that looks like she's super stony baloney. And I don't think that's not vanilla, right? There's no way.
Just give me a second. No, I think that's vanilla.
Wow.
Maybe.
Namalda really do be high.
I can pull up her portrait later. I'll find out later.
All right.
Xavier.
Your favorite indoor Masterlands user, as you famously say.
Yeah, just trade him up to get the ring.
What's his starting lance rank again? It's B, right? So he's very close.
Yeah. He actually
starts at B and 45 experience.
That's exactly true. Like, I don't know what to say. He just actually, I heard he actually comes with a Master Lance if you do things right.
Yeah, you have to kill off. Yeah, well, so nobody's ever seen it because you have to kill off Roberto
and Leif.
Yeah, if you do that, then one of the green armors becomes the main lord.
So because he's in charge of all these green armors and he very much cares about their safety. I would put him in like a top, but like the protective kind of top.
Yeah, like a
Hen kind of situation.
I feel like every kink club has someone who's like the daddy bear type deal.
No, that's 100% him. Like he is very protective of his group of people. I feel like, and you know what? Good for him. We love him for it.
As a side note, I love how the beginning of this series was much more reserved, and then like now we're talking about like full on his role as the bouncer at the kink club and stuff.
Listen. Some of these characters are just like friends of Dorothy. Like all I'm saying, like
it's a bunch of ace ones too. Like Leif has all the ace rep in his army. We love to see it. Speaking of, like, we got this mustache, right?
Yeah, I've used this character once, and I barely remember his character. Like
he's like Miranda's retainer, who for some reason had to be convinced to stop being evil by her.
Yeah, I have zero thoughts on it. This is the Thracia character I think about by far and away the least. Just because I prefer A route, and whenever I play Thracia, I go A route.
That's brave of you to prefer A route. Most people really like B route. I've heard.
Yeah, and these people are wrong. I'm going to just say it. Like, listen.
I was joking. I think A route's the more popular one. I like A route better, at least.
Fair enough. Now we're.
Oh, do you like B route better? No, wait, no. You just said A. I didn't mean to.
Alright, I love A route. Listen, A route has Misha and the better maps,
and the better characters.
Yeah.
Like I understand the appeal of Miranda, and like a training project's always nice, but I feel like in a game like Thracia,
there's no such thing as a training project in Thracia. Let's be real.
Yeah,
like, they're going to cap their stats no matter what.
And also, it's like the extra funny thing is that the payoff for training Miranda is that she gets a mount, and the last 3 maps in the game are all indoors. So it's like it feels like an insult. Like, hey, you've trained this mage, and you finally get your reward, but you don't get to use it in the end game.
Oh yeah. Speaking of mounted units, that come very late into the game,
Mr.
Dermot. I really like him as a unit. He's like essentially a second Fergus, but without as many options to raise his crit rate, so he's 100% worse. But I still really like him. Now, I don't know. Like, he is also like in the Roberto area where he's kind of like very iffy on his age.
I think he's old enough. I feel like he's old enough. I know he's like supposed to be the same age as Nana, and we have her as a child soldier. So maybe we put him in child soldier. I don't know.
Yeah, let's just.
He feels old. The other thing is that like a lot of these characters, it's especially with Dermot and Nana and Leif, because genealogy takes place over like a 2-year period. I associate their ages with how old they are at the end of that game, and that's just not the case in Thracia, because in Thracia it's only over the course of a single year.
No, yeah, it's over the course of a single year in the year 776.
Yo, 776? Thracia reference? Do you think this might be related?
That's true. Now, Sias, this man is too wrapped up in his grand plan to essentially just be within the Loptirian Empire, but also, slowly like make it weaker. I feel like he's too wrapped up in that to even care about sex. I'm gonna be 100% real. I feel like if he's had sex, it's purely for political reasons. Like
the rare political gambit of fucking your opponent out of the race.
Also, he does have major Volthomer blood, so him having a child could actually be potentially very, very dangerous because it could give away his lineage.
Yeah.
He also would have to be very careful not actually showing anybody him undressed. Like.
Mm-hmm. Because all the Holy Bloods have like birthmarks on the cock, right? That's how you tell.
No, it's in different places if I remember correctly.
But sometimes it's the scrotum. Sometimes it's like left ball, right ball.
No, yeah, that's where Galsus's are.
Galsus's are in his balls.
That's a fun theory that Gals is actually his major Holy Blood because him and Marita can't use the Bloggy Sword, but the other minor Holy Blood havers can. Ooh. Which I think is actually, I actually really like this theory, and I'm going to show it on here. So, Bloggy was very inclusive to the minor Holy Blood fellows.
Yeah.
But speaking of Holy Blood, and speaking of a certain special tome,
Archer's personal weapon? It's so weird that Ced can use Archer's personal weapon in the sequel. I guess this is a reference to the fact that like they're boyfriends in genealogy.
That's true. Ced is also a similar situation to Sias, I believe. Like he cannot, like he can marry other person, but I feel like he's too, like literally, like he just left Celeste to just go fight in Thracia. Like I don't think he's concerned about worldly attachments and shit like that.
I think that within the tier list of Thracia, he ends up as ace, and I think within FE4 we probably re-rank him. Because I wholeheartedly agree that like he's way too concerned with freeing Thracia and like leading the Magi.
Oh yeah.
But during FE4, like that fight's over.
Oh yeah. Galzus is probably the top.
You think so?
Holy Blood awoke that dog in him.
Oh, that's true. I was gonna say like he's the only daddy who's not an ace, but he's not really a daddy to Marita. Like he's her bio father, but he's not her real father.
Yeah. Augustus, man of the cloth, but like he's like stated to be kind of like a fucked up man of the cloth, but I still think he's concerned with helping Leif.
I think that Sias falls in the same category as I think that he falls in the same category as Ced and Sias. In that, like, he's much more concerned about his schemes schemes is probably the wrong word for it, but, like, his politicking.
Oh, yeah. Can we put all the priests together? Like, so they can do, like, their little group prayer?
So, like, this... There you go. There we go. All the priests are together.
That's true.
Pope Marty in the center.
Ishtar, I'm gonna be real, I don't want to touch this one with a 10-foot pole.
I'm putting her in pee-pee poo-poo heads. She might actually be too young, she might be a child soldier, but like, I genuinely fucking hate Ishtar. Like, I want to punch her in her smug little face. She's such a little shit lib. I am being good and freeing all of the children, but I'm still gonna have work for the evil empire because I'm down bad for Demon Dick.
I don't like what they've done with her in Heroes.
Is there some gotcha stuff going? I've never, I don't know anything about Heroes. What's going on with Heroes?
She's gone the way of, from what I know, she's gone the way of Lynn, where they just over-sexualize her because it sells.
Oh my god. So she's now the Thunder Thighs lady or whatever?
I don't know. I just know that she's been hypersexualized by Faye.
No, she's a pee-poo-poo-poo head.
Manfroy is... I think he's a top. I'm gonna be real. Oh yeah, I just think he's a top, and Hannibal is definitely ace. I don't know if there's a more ace character in Fire Emblem. I'm gonna be completely real.
I mean, he fits. Daddies are ace. Daddies are always ace.
Not only adopted dad, but he's Thracia's shield.
Oh, true. He is the Great Shield of Thracia.
Yeah, he is the shield of Thracia.
I think Connemore, same book as Sias said, and
No, yeah.
Like, very much just, my country calls for me above all else type deal.
No, yeah, he's one of those MFs. But, like, in not a cool way like Hannibal.
Wait, did I just call him Conomore? That's not his name. Conomore is the unit.
No, yeah,
Who's this guy?
Listen,
he's the counterpart to Sias. Or not Sias, fuck. He's the other advisor. I should remember his name because he's one of the, like, I love the two advisors, and they're bickering off of each other and their mutual respect. And the scene where they're like debating who's gonna lead the charge because they know whoever's gonna lead is gonna die. It's so good.
Okay.
Anyway, Arion's ace, right?
Yeah, I can see it, but I think Trevant's a top.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's just Wyvern vibes. Now we're legally mandated to not have any more tops, so Amalda and Misha can stay next to each other.
No, we have to rearrange it, yeah.
Selef is definitely a child soldier.
Wait, what about this? Is that Sed? Is that like an alt portrait of Sed or something?
that's Forseti.
Oh, that's Lewin! Yeah.
No, it's Forseti because Lewin's dead.
Oh, true. Yeah. Forseti's a pee-pee poo-poo head. I'm gonna be real. He's like such a piece of shit in FE4 that it extends.
Yeah. Can we put Kempf being pee-pee poo-poo head for being a misogynist?
Okay, I'll put him there. In awesome. America. He's the American misogynist. I think if he weren't, he would probably be in bottoms, though. Like, he wants people to step 100%. On his face.
100%.
What about Selef?
The child soldier?
Oh, true. Yeah, he and Julia are both kids. I think we skipped over them because they were like in the little, like almost unused type deal.
Some of these are like reused portraits, so let's just hit like the main ones. I feel.
Okay, so this guy is he's in one of the Sias chapters, right? He's like the Penta X general.
No, he's not the Penta X general, but there's multiple of that portrait if I remember correctly. I think it's just like a generic priest portrait. So if we had to, let's just throw him an ace just to make people happy.
Yeah, he's a priest. We'll put him in we'll have him follow Pope Marty's commands.
Reinhardt is definitely a bottom. I feel like.
Ooh.
Yeah. I feel like he has everything going for him. He's at the top of his career, but deep down he just wants someone to be on top. You know, like.
Maybe that's why he's unwilling to turn traitor, even though he knows he's on the wrong side. Just because he's too down bad.
No, yeah.
Are you an Altena Ace believer? Because I am mixed on her.
I'm not an Altena Ace believer. I'm an Altena non-binary believer.
Ooh, is that why the inheritance is funky with Quan and Eflin?
Yeah, that's why it's really funky. I feel like Altena's ace. I feel like her and her adopted brother are definitely ace.
Mm-hmm.
Raedric is 100% a bottom, and so is Veld. Veld might be the biggest bottom.
Yeah.
That's Bloom. That's Bloom.
Oh, where's Bloom end up?
He poo-poo head. Let's be real. Like,
that whole family can just fuck all the way off.
Fuck major royalty and freeze on God.
Fuck Hilda, fuck Ishtar, fuck all of that. Like, oh my god, it's awful.
Veld is definitely a bottom.
I feel like Veld is the top, but then we would break our legal mandate.
No, he's a bottom for Manfroy.
But Manfroy's the bottom for Veld.
No, Manfroy's
they were both bottoms.
No, look at the second to last one.
Oh, yeah, I got Raedric and Manfroy and Veld all mixed up.
Veld, I guess you could be like Veld's a switch. He tops Raedric but bottoms for Manfroy. Like,
yeah, I get that.
Next one, this is literally just generic talk.
No, this guy is actually important. He's my favorite character. Joe. His name is Joe.
I think we should put him in child soldiers.
We just have all these little babies and then a guy with a big old fucking beard. This guy is my favorite generic boss. Oh my god, the eyebrow. The fucking. Also, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to talk about how brilliant, and I understand Thracia has a lot of stupid cryptic shit, but I genuinely think accessing 8x is fucking brilliant because your thieves are likely to be fatigued, but this smarmy motherfucker has a master seal in his inventory, so it's like, you want to capture him to steal the master seal. And I think it's stupid that they never tell you not to release him, but I do think that, like, the game incentivizing you to capture him when capturing him as the Gaiden requirement is actually brilliant. Like, I got that Gaiden by accident blind in my first playthrough, and I was like, that is super impressive, the way they signaled that. Anyway, look at his face. He's such a little slut. He just... I love this. I love this man.
No, yeah, I'm gonna let you take over for this one. Like, I have nothing to say on him, but I definitely have something to say about this next one.
Oh, I just realized we are not scrolled enough. I'm talking about this guy, and I'm gonna put him in bottoms. We are just barely, we can't see the portraits, so I'm gonna pull the people that we need to talk about into unused, but they are not unused. What do you have to say about Gomer?
I feel like he's a bottom, but he wanted Dagdar to top him, but Dagdar never reciprocated. So I think he's a toxic bottom.
Is that what the rebellion was about?
Yeah, I think he's a toxic bottom.
What if he was mad when he found out that, like, Dagdar's kid wasn't his or whatever? Like, he wished he was the second dad.
I don't think he knows about that. I'm gonna be real. I don't feel like Dagdar was ever felt safe enough to tell him.
Yeah, he's just like, well, what if he suspects that Dagdar has holy blood because he's never seen Dagdar's cock, and he assumes that Dagdar, the only reason Dagdar wouldn't get naked is he needs to hide the holy blood symbol, but little does he know Dagdar's transmask.
True. These next two, can you put that one in pee-pee poo-poo head?
This one?
Because I don't like the portrait.
His hair.
Yeah, and I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
This guy looks like he's like one of the senators in the background of Star Wars. He looks like he should be one of them.
That's real as fuck.
So I'm gonna put him in Ace, so we can have 3 rows of Ace people.
Oh, yeah.
So that we have like the most asexual country on Earth. He's all alone. He's sort of isolated in Ace Row, but that's fine.
Glad to see Thracia with its good amount of Ace representation.
This does mean that the unused people are kind of cut in half on the recording, but they're literally unused. I do like their sprites, but they are unused.
Their sprites are phenomenal.
It makes me sad that they were unused. I hope that when we get a Thracia remake in 100 years, that they add them back in.
I have words about that, but that is not for this video.
I think it would be cool if there were substitutes, like the FE4 substitutes were in Thracia.
Maybe.
Just because, like, they gotta be doing something when they're not in Selef's army. But anyway, thank you for coming on, and talking about one of the more infamous Fire Emblems. Kaga at his most Kaga, at least within the main series.
Within the main series, we don't need to talk about the Starry Saga right now.
Nope.
That is Kaga when he's completely unchecked.
But if you haven't already, subscribe to Juniper's YouTube and check her out on the Purple platform. I think if I say Twitch, then YouTube will literally kill me. Oops. Well, rip me.
I will say, this will go up afterwards. I do a yearly FE4 collaboration stream with a bunch of people, and it is the main thing I do. But if you would like to check out my channel, I will probably be streaming a lot more frequently over the summer, which is around the time this video goes up. So, yeah, thank you for having me on for this. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for joining me. It was incredibly fun, incredibly enlightening, and pee-poo-poo-poo heads, that's going to be a staple now.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Toodles!
Bye!
You didn't think I was going to let you go without thanking the patrons, did you? Thank you to Tailored Muffin, George Grenville the 7th BM, SUP, Caius Cole, Gabe the Green, Controlled Aegis, Joanna the Wrenchwith, Juniper Jungby, Ginger, Dysike, Mean Jojo, Lilsbeth, Autumn Kelsey, Len, Gameboo, Carosa, Fyrand, Smaz Ruby, Saxon, Seraphew58, Reflect, Marin McLean, Calamity Callie, Queen Eliza, Cynthia, Jamie Collins, Marin Karen, Thick Molder, Danielle Colossus, Jagan is a Nest, Julia Kyoto, Arvis, and Belle Wenska. Also, last minute editing edition, thank you to Adele, a recent subscriber to the Patreon. They actually voted for Thracia to be the next Tops and Bottoms video, so democracy is definitely something you have to pay for, just like in America! There's other benefits to being a patron, such as early videos and some stuff that's too spicy to talk about on YouTube, but please only donate if you can comfortably afford to do so. Otherwise, liking, subscribing, commenting, joining the Discord are all things that benefit for the channel. But regardless of what you choose to do, I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, gamers.